welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be doing my first reading wrap-up. I'm doing my June reading wrap-up. I read a total of 7 books and I DNF'd 2 this month. Not usual for me, but this month was sort of a bit busier between work and school, so I think, you know, those 2, I just was not feeling it, and so I just was like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm also gonna include the books that I want to read in July as sort of my TBR. I'm not gonna do like a whole TBR video, but I'm just gonna briefly mention a few of the books that I hope to read in July. So y'all, before I get going, I have to point out my shirt. You're probably noticing it. I got this from Etsy. I don't remember what store I got it from on Etsy, but like Born to Read, and then it says Forced to Work, and she's like crying, and it says pages over paychecks. Cutest thing in the world. It's how I feel. I love this. I wear this shirt all the time. Like I said, I got it on Etsy, so I don't know exactly who I got it from. I just remember I found it on Etsy when I was looking. The first book I read in June was Things We Cannot Say. I briefly mentioned this in my very first video, where I was kind of talking about how I'm not sure that I am a historical fiction person. This was my second historical fiction I've read, like actual historical fiction, not ones that are like have a bunch of subgenres and stuff, ones that like it's literally just focused on the history. The Nightingale was my first one and this was my second one. I gave this a 2.5 stars. Basically, this book is about Alina and her family who live in Poland during World War II. And basically her fiance kind of disappears for a while. She doesn't know what's going on with him. And it goes back and forth between Alina's point of view and her great-granddaughter Alice's point of view. And it was okay. Alice was kind of unbearable, to be honest, as a main character, and like as a person you're getting, you know, her point of view. Hearing her story with her family was kind of aggravating. Her and her husband were having a lot of issues and it just felt a little totally unrelated to the rest of the book, and so then I just was bored and I was like, well, I don't know, like just get on with it. I mean, this book wasn't long, but it was over 400 pages, like just over 400 pages, which is okay, but it feels long to an extent, especially when you're a little bored already and when one point of view is just like not your thing, you're just like wanting to skip through that entire point of view from someone. So yeah, I gave this 2.5 stars, and that's why. All right, the second book that I read in June was That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Not positive, I probably butchered that. I actually gave this 5 stars, and at the time I was like, this might be a 6-star read for me. I was hooked. I was intrigued. I can't lie about it. At the time reading this, I was like not wanting to put it down. I stayed up really late reading it, and I still really like it. I don't know that it's necessarily 6-star for me. I think that was a little like jumping the gun. Like I was like, I think it could be, but I'm not like constantly thinking about it still, so that's why I say it's not 6-star, but definitely a 5-star. I really did enjoy this. I didn't predict the ending. I know some reviews wrote saying that it was super predictable. Usually, like a lot of thrillers, I can predict the ending, but this was not one of them. The sun disappeared, so now this lighting is absolutely horrendous, but bear with me. So basically, in the story, a teenager wakes up in a ditch and she has absolutely no memory. She can't remember her name. She can't remember why she's even in the ditch. Nothing. She can't remember anything. Doesn't know who her family is, nothing. And basically her dad supposedly is saying, oh, that's Mary, my daughter, and she's kind of starts living with him and the police believe him. And meanwhile, a girl named Lola has gone missing. Her boyfriend has been accused of murdering her, and he is all the meanwhile trying to find her, and he's trying to clear his name. And yeah, I really liked this. I thought it was just so intriguing. The next book I read was Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book in her what series is this? Oh my goodness. Her Chestnut Spring series. The Chestnut Spring series is my first time ever reading Elsie Silver, and I really liked all of them. Every book is basically about someone within the family, so it's been really good. I'm excited to read the last 2. I really need to. I've been hooked on them, to be honest. And they're just so pretty. Like, look at these covers. Like, I am obsessed with them. I want to say it was a 3.5. I know it wasn't any lower than that for sure. It might have been like a 3.75, I'm not positive. But I did really like this one. This one is about Jasper Jarvis. Him and Sloane, one of his childhood friends, are reconnecting. Friends to lovers kind of deal. Almost second chance romance in a way. I would consider it kind of one. So if you're into all those tropes, you would definitely like this book. I would definitely recommend the Chestnut Springs series. After that, I read Say You'll Remember Me. This is actually the like reversible dust jacket from Target. So I have it on the cute little illustration then in the car. So cute. I gave this book, I want to say I gave this book a 4.5. I think, honestly, after sitting on it a little bit, I'd probably give it like a 4. I liked it, but it's definitely hasn't been my favorite. I started reading this in April, like pretty much right when I got it, because I was super excited for it. I really loved Just for the Summer last year. So I was super excited for it, but it just felt a little heavy. And at the time when it started in April, I just wasn't really in the mood for, you know, it being that deep. I just wanted a, you know, light, airy romance, and so I kind of put it down and was like, when I, you know, think I can pick it back up, I will. And that was like 40% into the book too, so I was like a good way into it when I put it down. But I picked it back up in June, and I kept reading it. I pushed through, and it was sweet. I did like it, but like I said, I just think when I read romance, like I don't know, like when it gets too deep and dark and into like those kind of topics where it's just like the main, like a main overarching like theme in the book. In any other book maybe, but like romance specifically is just where it really bothers me, because it's just like I'm reading a romance because I want to just like feel their love and, you know, escape reality and, you know, remember what it feels like to fall in love. And, it was kind of insta-lovey, which I went back and forth on if I liked or not. And I liked it to an extent, but like, you're that obsessed with each other, I don't know. I think you could move on and do life and you'd be fine. But it was after like one date too, so it was a little excessive to me. So yeah, I think I'd probably go back and rewrite this like a 4-star. After that, I read Broken Country. I really was excited for this book. I heard a lot of good things about it, and that's really why I picked it up, because when it first came out, I wasn't really drawn to it, but I started to hear a lot of good things about it. So I picked it up and I read it. I want to say I rated this a 3.5. Also was not my favorite. It was a decent book. I don't know, I think the female main character just annoyed me, to be honest, and I think that's really what like made this book a lower rating for me. I was expecting to like this book a little bit more than I did. It goes through, basically, you're trying to figure out what exactly happened, because you know that there's a trial happening and her husband is on trial, and you kind of get pieces about the trial. And quote right here when you open the book says, "The farmer's dead, he's dead, and all anyone wants to know is who killed him." I don't know, it's complicated. I have complicated feelings on the matter, but like I said, I think the female main character just annoyed me, and then there was no coming back from that, so I couldn't rate it any higher, and I couldn't get into it any more than I did because I just couldn't stand her. So the book I read after that was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I gave this book a 5 stars. I love this book. I honestly was kind of shocked. I didn't think I was going to. It had a lot of mixed reviews, and so I was a little nervous going into it, but I liked it. So I recommend this book. If you're iffy about it because you know that it's had mixed reviews, I'd say just go into it with like an open head, an open mind, and try not to like think about, you know, people's reviews and ratings, because chances are you might actually like it. I feel like the more you go into a book thinking like, oh, a lot of people have, you know, had different reviews, some people have really liked it, some people have hated it, you're gonna have kind of like this notion that you're kind of expecting it to be a letdown. And I feel like when you go into that, it is gonna be a letdown. So I feel like if you just go into a book, just open mind, don't think about what anyone else has reviewed or said or anything, and you just go into it and think for yourself that you may actually really end up liking it. So just a suggestion. The last book I read, I actually just got done reading this last night, was The Summer We Ran. I gave this a 3-star, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it's a 3-star. I had no idea what this was about. Let me just let y'all know that I'm absolutely horrendous at explaining books because I like don't know how to not give things away, and so I try to like explain a book with no spoilers, but then I just feel like I'm not making any sense, and that's probably the case. And then I can't ever remember anyone's names because I'm just like reading a lot of books, and so they all start merging together at some point, and I'm like, what was their name? No idea. So if my explanations make absolutely no sense, my recommendation to you is just look up the book and read the synopsis on it, because I try my best, okay? I do try my best, but I know it's not good, because sometimes my husband's like, Lauren, you can try and explain this book to me all day long, but I have no idea what you're saying. It just is not making any sense. This book is about a woman named Tess Murphy, and she did not grow up in money at all. Her mom worked hard for her, had her when she was really young, I think 18, I want to say, and they were trying to, you know, make a better life for themselves, and it's flashing back between back then when Tess was, I think, 17 or 18. I think she was 17. She was in her senior year of high school, or like the summer before her senior year of high school. And then between her being older, I want to say it was like 25, 26 years later, somewhere in that range, maybe a little bit more, but I know it's in the like 20 years range. And she is running for governor of Virginia, and so is the guy that she was in love with from back in the day. And something dramatic happened, and you'll find out if you read the book, but it's a big spoiler, so I'm not gonna tell you, obviously, but obviously something big happened and they never talked to each other again, and then now they're running against each other as adults to be governor of Virginia. The reason I gave this 3 stars was not that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the drama and it was messy, it was, but it also wasn't my favorite because I think if you're trying to do drama when it's like romance, like, I don't know, if you're trying to do a lot of drama, like The Favorites did that very well. This book, it was just like drama between them two, and then it's like, I don't know if it's a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, skip past a little bit, but like, they both kind of end up like getting divorced from their respective marriages, but then they just end up alone. But I'm also like, how has it been 20-something years and you haven't gotten like help for everything you've gone through? Like, therapy or something, because it was needed. And that just bothers me sometimes when it's been that long and it's like you can tell that they haven't gotten help, and you're just like, this book wouldn't exist if you went to therapy and got the help. But I guess that's the point, but that bothers me. Like, it bothers me. If it's been like a few years, I can understand, but like 20-something, that's a little too much. Like, you should have gotten help. You shouldn't be acting this way. And so then it just annoys me, and then I get annoyed with the main characters and I end up not liking them. So if I don't like a main character, like, book is not gonna be higher than like 3.5 at the most. Depends on how well like the rest of the book is. But if I don't like a main character, it's not a good time. The 2 books I DNF'd this month, I DNF'd The Roughest Draft and also The Frozen River. I DNF'd this one at 70%, and I don't remember what I was at on this one. It was like in the 40 to 60 range. Like, I was a good way into it, but oh my gosh, we'll get into it with them. Okay, first off, The Roughest Draft. I was listening to this as an audiobook because I was listening to it while I was doing like school, and I got this with Once Upon a Book Club, and they do like little gifts that kind of relate to the book. So like certain points it says like open your gift, and you can open it and it relates. I got this little like hand cream. It says like fiction on it. I don't know if you can see that, but, and so I hate that I didn't like it and I didn't even finish it. There's 2 writers, and they were like a literary like writing duo together, and they split up for some unbeknownst reason, and now they're trying to write again because they have like, they both need the money, and that's pretty much it. I can't remember if they both were in relationships at the time that they like reconnected, but I know he was, at least. And there was just a lot of like emotional cheating, just cheating in my mind in general, like not my thing. And just like morality, like I was questioning their morals, to be honest. I really was. And I still don't even know, I mean, I DNF'd it, so I don't know if I even got to the point, but like I still don't even know what exactly happened for them to like have like split up and it been such like a dramatic thing. And it just felt very like superficial. Like I felt like they didn't like each other, but they were supposed to end up liking each other and like falling in love, and that felt like it wasn't happening for me. And I just wasn't vibing with them. They both pissed me off. I'm like, you're cheating on your like respective partners. And I just don't vibe with that. So I gave up on it because I just couldn't. And I was like, I know I'm gonna get to the end and I'm gonna feel unfulfilled because I just already don't like them and I don't like where they are and I feel like they're not in love. I feel like they hate each other. So that's why I DNF'd it. Frozen River. Like I said, I don't remember exactly what point I DNF'd this, but I really tried. I really did. I just thought it was boring. Oh my gosh. It's set back in the 1700s. So like back in that time period, I feel like the female main character just like, I hate men. Besides my husband. My husband's like the only, and my children are the only men that are like okay, and everyone else is terrible. And I'm just like, I don't vibe with that. I don't. Every time you turned around, there was a girl that was pregnant and she was unwed, and that was like, you know, back in the 1700s, I was like, oh my gosh, unwed. And it was like literally everyone in the entire town was. I literally cannot read this book any further because I'm so tired of hearing about this unwed person that is pregnant and yada yada yada. And then I don't know, the female main character really just annoyed me, and it was like beyond like I couldn't even read the book because she annoyed me that bad. I could go on, I could rant about this book to be honest, because there was a lot of things that just really irked me, but I'm not going to because I feel like that'd be a waste of my time. Alright, so now I'm gonna go into books that are kind of on my July TBR and that I really want to get through in July. I have quite a few, but I've been reading like 9 or 10 books every month. Last month I read 7, but I DNF'd 2, so that would have been 9. And I'm probably just gonna list like a few. I probably won't give you all 9 or 10. I have a few that are coming from Book of the Month. I got 2 books this month, or for July. And I really want to get through those too because they're both like summer-esque and I want to read them, you know, while it's like summer vibes. The first book on my July TBR is One Golden Summer. I am super excited to read this. I mean, look at it. It's just giving summer vibes. I want to read it. We got a pool. I want to go sit out and enjoy it in my pool. Like, just super excited for it. The next book on my July TBR is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. This is my first book by Cara Stone that I actually own. I haven't read any of her other books, but I've heard really good things about this one. And then obviously, again, like I've said a million times, like look at that cover, that's beautiful. Let me just read it for you because it's gonna make more sense than me explaining it. Grieving the loss of her best friend, a young woman finds her life turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears he can help her live again, by the beloved author of Ready or Not. It sounds really sweet. I'm probably going to cry. The next book on my July TBR is Somewhere in the City by Alex Astor. I think she wrote like some romantic-y books, I want to say. I don't know. Like I said, I don't read fantasy, not my thing. So I haven't read her, you know, her writing before, but I'm excited to read it. I know that this is actually already supposed to be getting a movie adaptation. I have no idea. I like to go into books pretty much blind, but I can't really tell you much about what this book's about. I just know that it's cute and that it's summery, and a lot of people have liked it, and a lot of people like Alex Astor's writing. So another book on my July TBR, this one's like completely different from the last 3, is Simultaneous. This is actually an ARC version. I got it from Flatiron, so thanks Flatiron for providing me with my free ARC. I honestly don't even know what it's about, but I'm excited to read it because it comes out in October of this year, and when I get an ARC, like I want to read it before it comes out. That's kind of like the whole point, so I can read it and put it on my Goodreads and my Fable. And I don't know, it just sounds interesting. I'm really like a thriller girly, and a good thriller in the summer is my jam. And like I said, I want to read this before it comes out in October, since it is an ARC, and so I'm excited to read it. 2 other books on my July TBR that I kind of briefly mentioned. Like I said, I got 2 books for July from Book of the Month. I like to try and read my Book of the Month books in the month that I get them, or they pile up. I love my Book of the Month books. I am not sponsored by Book of the Month, but I do love Book of the Month. And I love my hardcovers. I'm a hardcover girl. I don't know why, but I prefer hardcovers over paperbacks. So Book of the Month is definitely like my favorite thing in the world because you get hardcover books for way cheaper than you normally would. So I definitely recommend Book of the Month if you don't have Book of the Month. I'll put my referral link in the description so you can check them out if you haven't. I think your first book you can get for like $5.99 or $9.99, something like that. I don't remember, so don't quote me on it. That's all I had for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you stick around for my next month's reading wrap up and next month's TBR. I love to talk about the books I read, so it's a nice little outlet to talk about all the books I read for the month and then talk about all the books I want to read and plan to read the next month. So I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.